So I was gonna record this video at home, and you know, because that's where you have all the cool microphones and the background, and the sound quality might be like 100%. But to be honest, I'm never really home. That's one of the reasons why I bought the iPhone 11 Pro Max, was because of the camera. I do have a really cool camera at home that does some great video, some great pictures, but I never have it with me just because it's a lot more bulkier to carry. And so that's one of the reasons why I'm recording here. And it's a little bit bouncy because out here in the Chicagoland area, we don't have the smoothest roads. So if it's bouncy, that's what it is. Frank Baltier is here with Rolling Burritos, right there, a food truck here in the Chicagoland area, gonna specialize in breakfast burritos. And the purpose of this video is I just kind of want to tell you guys where the idea of the food truck came from, because they asked me yesterday, and they've asked me a couple times, why did you pick to do the food truck? Out of everything that you have, your real estate license, which you can make an incredible amount of income and a great life for yourself and your family, and being in the power industry, which has always been my background, is being in the power electrical industry, construction, things like that, rehabbing houses. That's been like what I've done for a long time, since I can remember, since high school, is doing something like that. Why didn't you just build that business? I've been asked that a couple times. Why did you go into the food truck? And I'm like, you know, that's a great freaking question. So I walked in yesterday to the bank, and that's actually the last person that asked me, which kind of made me want to do this video. She asked me, why'd you pick the food truck? And I'm like, that's a great question. I'm like, the reason is this: it's a numbers thing. Number one, the numbers made sense in the food truck. The overhead cost, the profitability. I'm gonna break that down here sooner or later in one of these videos. Whenever we sell the first breakfast burrito, which should be very soon, I'm gonna break down all those numbers and see if actually my hypothesis, right, is actually the truth of what it is. So then I answered her. I'm like, well, to be honest, I'm like, it was kind of like one of those moments that just kind of like triggered. So I was at this meeting in Vegas, and they were talking about how to build a business, any business, right? It wasn't like food truck related. It wasn't nothing to do with real estate. It was just how to build a business and make it huge, right? Scalable, not just like a mom and pop local business, like boom, all over the place. And they said that business has to have 4 different things. And I was like, all right, let me get my notebook. Let me write these down. So one of them, it has to be simple. Number 2, it has to be scalable. Number 3, it has to serve a need, like a real big need. And the 4th one is it has to have some type of recurring model to people to give you money automatically every month, every day, every year, whatever it is. It has to do something like that. Kind of like Costco has the yearly memberships that they charge. Amazon has a yearly, the gym memberships, you can do like a monthly or yearly thing. So it has to be able to have that to it. And being a real estate agent, the 3rd one, which is it has to serve a need, where this is where, in my mind, this is just my personal opinion, is being a real estate agent, they're like, how come you just didn't build a big real estate portfolio through an agent side, right? Not the investor, that's a whole different animal. Selling houses, you know, and helping people sell and buy houses. I'm like, to be honest, I'm like, the reason I didn't do it is because I don't, like, again, this is my personal thought process. I don't think a house is needed, right? You don't need to own a house to survive. You honestly don't need a house, right? You need somewhere to live, right? You can live in an apartment all your life and be happy. You can rent in a house all your life and be happy. You don't really need to be an owner of a house to survive every single day. You can buy houses and rent them out, apartments and rent them out, and build a rental portfolio. That's a whole different animal. But to live and have a need, you don't need to have a home as an home ownership. So that's where that kind of like check, half of a check, but not really a full check. So, you know, I was kind of just sitting there, you know, thinking about my real estate side and what I wanted to do with my life, right? At 30-some years old, what do I want to be when I grow up? And I got hungry, man. I honestly did. My stomach started growling. It was about like 11:30 in the morning. And the only thing at where we were at, the Hard Rock Hotel in Vegas, was Dunkin' Donuts. And when I used to live in Austin, Texas, you know, back when the electrical took me into different avenues in the cell phone industry, data centers, I've done a lot to do in the construction. Like, I'm very handy in that aspect, very handy. And I like to like fix things. I love to be able to take something and like convert it into something very cool and be handy. And I got really hungry and I started thinking about Austin, thinking about their breakfast tacos, and I was like, man, it'd be so good to have like a tortilla with some eggs, with some, you know, some bacon and some salsa on it, whoo, man, it just got me hungry. And all of a sudden, boom, light bulb moment hit me. I was like, you know what, we don't have something like that similar in Chicago, like in the food truck side, where you can just you know, roll up somewhere and be like, hey, give me a couple breakfast tacos, breakfast burritos, and just boom, hand them out. You know, out here, the only thing that's fast and accessible is, you know, like Panera, McDonald's, Dunkin' Donuts, sandwiches and things like that, unless you want to sit down like at a family diner, which you can, but usually a lot of people don't have 35 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour to sit down, unless it's like a Sunday and it's like a Sunday brunch or something like that. So I was like, man, I'm like, does that fit in the model? Let me see. It's simple, you know, because breakfast burritos are pretty simple. It's scalable because you can build 1 truck, 2 trucks, 3 trucks, 4 trucks. We're halfway there. The third one is it has to actually serve a need. I was like, you know what? Does it serve a need? I'm like, I don't know. I'm hungry and I need some food. So I'm like, shoot, it actually might serve a need because, to be honest, we all have to eat, right? At some point in our life, we have to eat. And I'll tell you, I'm like, I've debated this, and I'm like, you know, even if you're a vegan, don't like meats or anything like that, eventually, if like you don't have any food, you will become like, hey, give me that breakfast burrito. I don't care if it has chorizo on it. Like, I just need some food in me or I'm gonna like pass out right now, right? We sometimes feel like that even at noon, and it's only been like 4 hours since we ate. So that to me is like, you know what? It does feel a need because we all have to eat something. Either it's in a liquid form, in a physical form. I'm like, we'll blend in some burritos or something. So that filled the need. That was number 3. And the fourth one is, can I build something recurring from it? You know what? You can. You know why? Because I can start the catering side, which is what I want to do, and being able to go into, like, for example, the bank that I went to yesterday, when she told me, do you want coffee and cookies? Help yourself. I'm like, why don't I make it coffee and breakfast burritos? She's like, maybe. That sounds actually pretty cool. And I'm like, that kind of triggered in my mind. I'm like, it's recurring even back then, because you can cater to corporations or cater to companies that say, you know what, every morning bring me 25 burritos, or even coffee shops that don't have kitchens. Hey, you know what, I want to have there was a place in Austin, Texas that had that, where every morning, I think, man, I forgot what the name of that place was, Taco something in Austin. Every morning they took about 25 to 50 burritos to the coffee place, and once they sell out, they sell out. And I was always trying to be there first in line because I wanted some of their breakfast tacos, because the only other option was to go to their location, which was in North Austin. Taco Deli. Man, I forgot what the heck the name of that place is. I'm going to remember right now. And so that's like a recurring income. You can go to these coffee shops that don't sell breakfast, that you can be like, let me bring you guys breakfast burritos every morning, 25, 50, 100. And that's recurring. That's recurring. Boom, that got the 4th check mark. And I'm like, man, this actually might actually work. So with that, you know, I put all the numbers together, bought the food truck, and that's where it came in. And she's like, why not just start an electrical company? And I'm like, you know what, that actually crossed my mind for a bit, is starting an electrical company. And the reason I say that, you know what, let me plug in my car while you guys wait. Charging the Tesla. Why not just start an electrical company? And I was like, you know what? That actually crossed my mind. And the reason is because it's something that people need, right? You need electricity, you need lights, you need your appliances to run in your house. And the issue that I had is, when it comes to doing that, is it's something that you don't need on a daily basis, right? You don't need to change your fixtures every day. You don't need to put fans every day. For you, it might be a big job to do fixtures and change fans and add lights to your house. But for us as electricians, it's like a 1 or 2 day job. And it's not something that can be duplicated every day, because every job is so different. Every job pays a little bit different. You need to estimate them, take some time to estimate. And I told her that's the reason I didn't want to do the electrical side and start an electrical company. Because with food, it's pretty simple, right? Like, you buy a burrito, you don't buy a burrito. Boom, boom. If you don't like it, that's fine. You know, not everybody's going to enjoy eating at my breakfast truck. But you know what? I can go knock the next door over and the next door over, the next door over, because at the end of the day, we all have to eat and consume. And with the electrical, you can live with that fixture for 20 years, even if you don't like it and it's like hideous and you hate looking at it every day, you can live with it, right? So that's where that came in. And I'm like, that's the reason why I'm going this direction. Will it work? I don't know. I don't know if it will, but I'm willing to give it a shot. And I might surprise myself, and we might take it into a different area that we don't even know was even possible. So Rolling Burritos is a food truck serving breakfast burritos in the Chicagoland area in the Downers Grove, DuPage County. So with that, we're almost up and running. Next week, we'll take the truck in to get inspected. So with that, I'll keep you guys updated. Frank Baltier is here.